What's going on, everyone? TM24 Plays here, and we've got some more Marvel Snap content for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 2-card combos in Snap. So what exactly does that mean? Well, that means that when you play these cards together, they're either going to give you a lot of power, maybe they lock down a lane, or they're just going to help you control the game and give you the best chance to win. So, for example, we've got, let's just say, the Hood on 1, and we go right into, where's Viper? There she is, Viper on 2. So, you get a 1-6 in your hand, a 2-3, and you put a 1 -2 on their side. Not a bad little combo. That one isn't going to make our list, but it kind of gives you an idea. It gives you an advantage in the game, and it pushes you forward towards victory. So, we're going to get started. We're going to take a look at some of these, but before we do, please remember to subscribe and like the video, and we'll see you here in the countdown. Starting off, we've got our honorable mentions here. So we've got Bucky Barnes and we've got Deathlok. Now, we know when Bucky gets destroyed, he's replaced by the Winter Soldier, a nice 2-6. And Deathlok, when added to that, is going to give you 11 power on that lane because he destroys Bucky, bringing out the Winter Soldier. So what I did in this video is I also wanted to add a deck that I've seen these card combos played in. And perfect time to show you in the honorable mentions is a Death Wave deck here. So as you can see, you've got Bucky, you've got Deathlok, and these two can be played in any combination of decks. 11 power in one lane is pretty good for only 2 cards. For only 5 energy, it outpaces most other 5 drops. It goes well in a destroy package, but it's not quite good enough to make our top 5, which is why we're giving it a spot here on the honorable mention. Next up, we've got our number 5 spot. Number 5 spot, this is one of my favorites. It's Zero Red Skull. So, Zero, as we can see here, on reveal, remove the abilities on the next cards you play. And of course, that next card is going to end up being Red Skull. Ongoing enemy cards at this location have +2 power. So, ultimately, you've got 6 energy, 18 power, no negative effects. Pretty good. You can play it on turn 6 together. Maybe you split them up. Maybe Zero goes on one lane, Red Skull on the other. And ultimately, I really think this is a strong turn 6 play. Where I've used it the most has been in my Dracula deck. I did a video on that the other day, which I'll put at the end of the video if you would like to see it. But again, super nice little combo here. It's not the strongest in the world, but it is something that can win you some games and surprise your opponents. Number 4, this is my favorite by far, is Daredevil into Professor X. So Daredevil on turn 5, you get to see your opponent's plays before you make your own. Your turn 5 play there is going to be Professor X. You're locking down that lane, cards can't be added or removed, and that should give you a 1-0 lane advantage going into turn 6. Now, of course, you've got to keep your other lanes closed. You've got turns 1, 3, and 4 to make sure that your Professor X can come down and win you a lane. But you've got plenty of time and cards to do that. And I showed you how to do that in the tag team video that I did the other day. So Daredevil and Professor X were teaming up with Green Goblin and Hobgoblin. They work really well in control decks, and this is just one of my favorites because I like having a lane knowing that I've won one, and I make him guess. So on turn 6, he doesn't know where I'm going to play. Maybe I take one, maybe the other, but I already know that I have one and only need one more. Moving on to number 3, we've got the OG. Probably the original 2-card combo that is just going to give you a ton of power and help you win the game, and that's Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur. So Moon Girl, she's duplicating your hand. Devil Dinosaur, you get +2 power for each card in your hand. So the reason I've got this one so high up on the list is because, 1, you get 2 giant dinosaurs that could easily win the game on their own. But 2, this one is a lot more accessible early on, so you can get some play out of it early. It was really one of the first decks that I started looking for was a giant dino deck because it can get you those wins. And it's just really fun being able to drop down those huge dinosaurs and knowing that you're going to be in good shape. So I really think they deserve this spot here into the top 3. But the next 2 are, they kind of start to cut away from the competition here. All right, number 2, I've got a little bit of a combo here for you, and that's going to be Patriot, Cerebro, either of them, and then you combine them with Mystique. So Patriot, of course, your ongoing cards with no abilities have +2 power. Cerebro, very similar effect. Your highest power cards get +2 power. And then what Mystique does is she copies the last card you play that has if the last card you played has an ongoing ability, she gains it. So she's copying that, and she's buffing up your cards with no abilities, or she's buffing up your highest powered cards. So a Cerebro 2 deck I've got up here. It's just a bunch of 2-drops, Cerebro, Mystique, Blue Marvel to buff them, Iron Man if you need the extra power, and then something similar with Patriot. You know, we've got a bunch of no ability cards. We've got Khazar, Blue Marvel, Onslaught, Ultron, all to buff those cards up. And this is where the power really starts to shine. Now, the top one, in my opinion, is Mr. Negative and Jane Foster. And I just think that this is a really crazy 2-card combo, because if you pull it off at any point during the game, you really feel like you're going to win. Mr. Negative is swapping up the cost of all your cards in your deck. Hopefully you've got a bunch of cards that have 0 power but really strong on reveals, and then Jane is going to draw all those cards. Turn 6 then just becomes your turn, where you own that game. You can play wherever you want, as long as your opponent hasn't locked it down, and you've just got so much power that it really is crazy, which is why I believe that Mr. Negative and Jane Foster deserve the top spot as the top 2-card combo to really help you win games. All right, so just a quick recap. We had Bucky Barnes and Deathlock coming in as an honorable mention. Zero and Red Skull coming in at 5. Daredevil, Professor X at 4. At 3, it was the OG combination of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. 2, we had kind of a little bonus deck in there. We had a Patriot Mystique or Cerebro Mystique. I prefer the Patriot variant myself, but I've seen a lot of people having success with the Cerebro. And then number 1, we had Mr. Negative and Jane Foster Thor. I just think that those 2 cards can, when played together, they'll win you games. So what do you guys think? How did my list turn out? Did you like it? Are there any combinations that I missed? Let me know in the comments. Until then, let's have some fun.